Sometimes, right before a major quantum jump, life feels strange, not chaotic, not entirely peaceful, but as if something is shifting under the surface in a way you can't quite name. The conversations around you feel a little hollow. The routines that once gave you comfort suddenly feel irrelevant. Even your ambitions, the ones you used to chase with so much energy, feel like they've lost their flavor. And this can be unsettling because the mind has been trained to believe that progress looks like constant activity, constant movement, constant doing. But in truth, this strange quiet you're feeling is one of the most important signals that your life is about to transform. It's not stagnation, it's not apathy. This is recalibration. In quantum mechanics, before a particle shifts to a new state, it enters what's called a period of uncertainty. Physicists might describe it as a superposition, a moment when the particle holds multiple potentials at once, none yet collapsed into reality. This is not a pause. It's the most dynamic state imaginable. At this stage, every possible outcome exists, and you right now are in that same state. It's a liminal space, a doorway between timelines where the old version of you is dissolving and the new version is forming in a reality that already exists in the quantum field. The human mind, obsessed with linear progress, struggles to trust this. It wants to see evidence, results, steps. But the quantum doesn't play by those rules. What you're feeling is the dismantling of the old vibrational blueprint. Think of your life as an intricate web of patterns, beliefs, and energetic signatures. For years, those patterns have held you in a certain frequency, which kept you anchored to a specific timeline. But when your higher self decides it's time to move, that web begins to loosen. Threads start snapping. Old energetic contracts expire. And because this all happens at the vibrational level before it appears in the physical, the first thing you notice is the stillness, the emptiness, the absence of your old drive. And this can feel like something is wrong, when in reality, it's the chest sign something is about to go profoundly right. Spiritually, many traditions describe this phase as the void. Mystics speak of it as the fertile darkness, the place where creation is seated before it blooms into light. In the void, your soul is reorganizing itself to match the reality you are calling in. The old tools you used to navigate life may no longer work here because they belong to the identity you are leaving behind. Your job now is not to panic, but to breathe into the stillness and trust it. The silence is not empty. It is full of quantum information, reorganizing your reality in ways your conscious mind cannot yet see. Science supports this too. Studies on neuroplasticity show that the brain needs periods of downtime to rewire itself for new patterns. When you're stepping into a new frequency, your nervous system is adjusting. Your brain's predictive models are recalibrating, and your body is learning a new energetic baseline. This recalibration phase is essential because you can't carry the chaotic frequency of the old timeline into the stability of the new. You must release before you can receive. Imagine the moment before a great symphony begins. The lights dim, the audience grows silent, and the musicians take their places. That silence isn't wasted time. It's the preparation for something powerful. Or think of it like a bow being drawn before an arrow is released. The tension isn't a delay. It's the very thing that will propel you forward. Right now, the universe is drawing you back, not to hold you down, but to launch you into a trajectory you couldn't reach with sheer effort alone. Here's the key. Most people misinterpret this phase and sabotage their jump. They panic at the stillness, mistake the void for a problem, and start scrambling to fill it with old habits and low-frequency distractions. But the more you resist, the longer you stay suspended between timelines. The ones who make the leap are those who learn to lean into the quiet, to see it as proof of progress rather than absence of it. If you can shift your perspective, if you can see the strange calm as the quantum loading screen for your next chapter, then you'll start to notice subtle signals that the field is rearranging itself around you. A random conversation that sparks a new insight, an unexpected release of emotion, a sudden clarity about something you've been confused about for months. These aren't coincidences. They are micro adjustments in your frequency, lining you up with the new reality. So, if you're here feeling a little out of place, unsure of where you're going but certain you can't go back, congratulations. You're in the exact vibrational space where transformation becomes inevitable. And in the next moments we share, I'm going to show you how to not only survive this phase, but to use it as rocket fuel for your quantum jump. Because once you recognize it for what it is, you'll stop resisting and start moving toward your next timeline with clarity, trust, and the magnetic pull of inevitability. One of the most misunderstood aspects of a quantum jump is that it rarely begins with a burst of energy or a dramatic sign from the universe. More often, it begins with friction. Not the chaotic kind that throws your life into obvious turmoil, but subtle, disorienting moments where the things that used to fit you no longer feel quite right. Relationships that once felt comfortable now feel constricting. Work that once gave you purpose feels hollow. Even your inner dialogue starts to sound foreign, as if it's coming from a version of you that no longer exists. This is the frequency mismatch phase. The moment your soul is accelerating into a higher vibration, while parts of your life are still operating in the old one. In quantum terms, this is what's known as decoherence. When two systems, in this case, your inner state and your outer reality, are no longer vibrating in harmony. The tension becomes impossible to ignore. And that tension is not a mistake. It's a signal that your current reality cannot sustain the energetic blueprint of where you're going. Think of it like trying to run the latest software on outdated hardware. The system will lag, glitch, and eventually crash. Not because something went wrong, but because an upgrade is required. That upgrade is your quantum jump. Spiritually, this is where many people start to question everything. Why does it feel like I'm falling apart when I'm supposed to be leveling up? The truth is, you're not falling apart. You're falling out of alignment with your old timeline. And that dissonance is the exact force that will propel you toward the new one. Imagine standing with one foot on each of two boats, drifting in opposite directions. Eventually, you will have to commit to one, and the one that matches your frequency will always feel like relief, even if it requires you to leave the familiar behind. Here's where most people get trapped. The mind, uncomfortable with uncertainty, tries to cling to the old. It will tell you to fix what's breaking, to smooth over what's falling apart, to restore what's fading away. But in the quantum field, restoration of the old is a step backwards. What feels like breakdown is actually the shedding of density. Old beliefs, patterns, and identities that can't travel with you to your new timeline. If you rush to patch them back together, you delay the jump. If you allow them to dissolve, you accelerate it. Physics gives us a metaphor here. When an electron jumps to a higher orbital, it must absorb a precise amount of energy. No more, no less. Once it reaches that threshold, it instantly transitions to the new state. There's no in-between. Similarly, your quantum jump happens the moment your frequency matches the reality you're moving into. Not when you force it, not when you push for it, but when you allow the old frequency to fully release so the new one can lock in. This is also why so much doing at this stage is counterproductive. The frantic need to fix, prove, or push is a sign you're trying to bridge two incompatible realities with effort. And effort is always a slower mechanism than alignment. The quantum field doesn't care how hard you work. It cares how purely you vibrate. A single moment of clear resonance will do more for your shift than weeks of unfocused action. If you've noticed lately that certain things are falling away, friendships, opportunities, even aspects of your personality, try this. Instead of asking, "How do I get them back?" ask, "What is this making space for?" That single shift in questioning changes your frequency from resistance to receptivity. In the quantum field, resistance is like static. It scrambles your signal. Receptivity is like a direct channel. It calls in the exact timeline that's already tuned to your desire. And here's the paradox. The more you try to rush this stage, the longer it lasts. Think of it as a necessary decompression chamber between who you were and who you're becoming. In scuba diving, if you ascend too quickly, you get the bends. Your body can't adjust to the rapid change in pressure. Spiritually, the same principle applies. If you try to leap without integrating the energetic changes, your system will pull you back to stabilize. This is why patience, trust, and presence are not passive states. They are active components of the jump. So, if right now your life feels like it's half erased, if you're standing in the rubble of what no longer fits, but can't yet see what's being built, you are exactly where you need to be. This is not a detour. This is the launch pad. The dissonance you feel is the energy winding up, ready to propel you into the reality that already exists for you in the quantum field. Your only job is to stop gripping the edge of the old boat and let the current of the new one take you. Because here's the truth. Your quantum jump is not waiting for the right time. It's waiting for the right you. And the moment you stop trying to fix what's leaving and start attuning to what's arriving, the field will snap into place around you. That's when the shift happens. You know, suddenly, seamlessly, and with a sense of inevitability that will make you wonder why you ever doubted it. Right before a quantum jump, you might notice that your emotional world feels amplified, as if someone turned the volume up on every feeling you have. One moment you're buzzing with excitement, certain that something extraordinary is about to happen. The next doubt seeps in, whispering that maybe you're imagining it all. This isn't